Hey everybody, movie fan Z here. So the movie I'm going to be reviewing for you is from 1985, and that is the Disney animated movie The Black Cauldron. So basically, this movie revolves around Talon, who is a young pig keeper who has to become a warrior when he confronts an evil king and stop him from gaining control of a mystical black cauldron. So here's who all is involved. The directors are Ted Berman and Richard Rich. Taryn is voiced by Grant Bardsley. Princess Eilenwee, or Ellenwee, is voiced by Susan Sheridan. You have Fluter, who is a minstrel that they meet along the way, voiced by Nigel Hawthorne. Gurgi, interesting creature that is part of their group, voiced by John Biner, and the Horn King is voiced by John Hurt. So, let's get into it. I didn't know what to expect going into this movie. The big thing with this movie, and why it has negative reactions, is because it came out in that middle period right before the Disney Renaissance that started a couple years later with The Little Mermaid and goes into the 90s. But this came in that experimental phase. And people weren't a fan of it because it's not what Disney was about in terms of it being darker and scarier. But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a good movie. It had a lot of great elements in it. There was action, there was adventure, there was magic, there was intrigue, and it was thrilling at times. And it was also a good story. You kind of got to develop the creatures along the way. But the biggest character, I think, is actually the villain, the Horned King. Because the thing with the Horned King that I thought is he had a presence about it. Everything from the entrance to the look to just the motivation. Now, Horned King is not as well known as some of the later Disney villains, or even some of the earlier ones. So it's right, like I said, it's right in the middle, but people don't know much about him, and I think it's an underrated villain too. But overall, I'm going a 3.5 out of 5. I think it is a solid movie. I don't know how much rewatchability it has, but that might be a small thing. But this was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So that is my review for 1985's The Black Cauldron. Come back next time for another review. This is Movie Fan Z signing off. Have a good night.